Okay. Alright, here we have a typical 3-blade mower deck, and this last summer apparently I hit something heavily metallic and it punched a pretty good size hole in here, and I didn't realize it. So after I ran it the rest of the summer, that hole wound up getting to be some very thin metal. It got eaten up. So let me see if I can show it to you, because I've already put a patch on it. I had some plate at work that I brought home and I put over the patch. Now I figured out where the metal was not thin and then cut that to size. Let me show you the other side so you can see what it looks like under there. There's the hole, and you can see it's pretty good size and it's very irregular, and all of that metal around here is very thin because as I kept cutting, sand and whatnot kept coming through the hole, so it eroded it. So basically all you have to do to patch something like this is have a little welding machine. MIG welder works good. You can use a stick welding machine as well, but a stick welder is a lot harder to use because it has to have more heat to keep the rod burning. So I've already welded most of this up. I'm going to wind up welding up the rest of that. So if you'll hold on for a second, I'll see if I can give you a little demonstration of how to weld something like this. Now there's different ways to do it depending on who you talk to, but I prefer doing it this way because when I'm pointing my gun like that, I can use the plate and melt it and roll it down. If you try welding directly onto the deck, you'll just keep punching holes in it, and it's really difficult to do. So you don't ever want to point the heat directly towards the thin material. You want to point it towards the thick material and then work it down onto the thin material until you see it all melt together. Okay, so that was a little different because I had a rod right there, but that was the same technique I used here and here, and that's the only way to do it without blowing tons of holes in this deck. I don't know if you can see it very good, but there's a little piece of the crack comes right up to the plate, and that's going to get a little tricky when I get there. Alright, here we go. Oops. It always helps if you put the ground on what you're welding. Alright, try it again. And you can just let the wire hang, and when it hits the plate, it'll burn right off. I'm at that little thin spot and it's not wanting to cooperate, so you just stop, putting heat on it for a minute, let it cool, then add some metal, and then add some metal. brush it off a little bit. Check, make sure you don't have any holes. That's just the paint. If you use flux cord wire on your MIG, you can just burn through the whatever's there, grass leftovers, paint, whatever. You could paint this or not. I'm not going to, because as it gets run, and that's being so much thicker than the deck, that'll never rot again. It may wind up having a problem somewhere else, but it won't right there. So this deck is now repaired, ready to go back into service, and it should last many more years before it fails and has to be replaced. And that's how you wind up patching a hole in a lawnmower deck that wound up getting a hole in it due to some kind of metal object. It might have been a rock, I doubt it, but it was probably metal that shot through the housing and punched a hole in it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day. Thanks.